And welcome inside to Alex Garrett Nightly. I want to play you on this Veterans Day such a very moving and not chilling, but very emotional moment from today. You know, it is Veterans Day, November 11th, and to all the troops and to all those who have served on behalf of the United States of America and sacrificed their lives, I remind you, thank you. Thank you for protecting this homeland. Thank you for the families that continue to support their loved ones going to war. Thank you for not only that, but thank you for just making this a place where we can continue to play sports. And every game that we honor you is rightly so. But I want tonight to play for you the acoustics of Grand Central Terminal with the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem, their Veterans Day ceremony today.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now Michael DePalma from the Metro North Communications and Signals Department will sing our national anthem.
Stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Really incredible, moving tribute today to our veterans, to those of Metro North who are veterans also. And it's just one of those days where you got to take time out and realize the bigger picture in life. That, yeah, we can talk about Cam Newton back with the Panthers. We could talk about, I don't know, Odell Beckham going to the Rams. I mean, how jacked up are they? But we can also just say thank you. Take a time out and say thank you to those that defend our land to keep us free, to keep us able to go to sporting events because of their work, to fight terrorism, to fight evil, to eradicate evil. We don't get to go to a game because of willy-nilly. There are a lot of factors. And believe me, our troops are a big one. They keep us safe. And as they say in stadium, at home and around the globe. So thank you to our troops this Veterans Day. And by the way, in New York City today, they had the Veterans Day parade for the first time since 2019. And by the way, they did put up the newest branch of the military, Space Force. So that's pretty cool. I always think, and people will disagree probably, but in space, the conquerors of space have been the astronauts over the years. Men on the moon. We were in a space war, and they call it a space race, but we were in sort of a space cold war. When they wanted to launch Sputnik, when Russia did, we had wanted to do something better. And did we do something better or what? July 20th, 1969, they landed on the moon. we landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. And that was the original space glory. And even the battle for space was to see how far we can go. And we reached outer limits, and we will continue to, I remind you. So there is that. But I guess we could talk about it. Everybody's going to talk about the Cam Newton back with the Panthers and the Odell back with the Rams. And I don't know. I'm not particularly interested in the hype. I think it's interesting. Sam Darnold is now out 6 to 10 weeks with a shoulder, 4 to 6 weeks with a shoulder injury. I mean, that's probably why they've been in a downhill spiral down in Carolina. But, Cam was looking. And he's going, quote unquote, home, if you will. And maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he needs a new coach, new coaching regimen there. I don't know. But I hope he can find himself again. I think he's lost himself over the years, even before leaving Carolina. Then up in New England, that just didn't mesh. But now he's back home. Odell, you got a Matt Stafford that's red hot. You've got a Ram team that looks like they just keep tacking on some big talent here. And they are now even more of a force. I mean, look. When Beckham was a Giant, was I frustrated every day? Was a darn highlight reel? You bet. You 100% better believe it. Because we weren't winning. He was a highlight reel, and the Giants weren't winning. And maybe he just hasn't found his spot. Maybe LA. Maybe LA style is what he needs. I don't know. We'll have to see. As they say, only time will tell. But yes, Veterans Day today at night. It's a little cooler. But now you sort of feel like we're in the thick of fall. We're heading towards the holidays, are we not? You now have to do a permit to be open all night on New Year's Eve in New York City, according to New York City's, the mayor's office in New York. So check out that if you are a restaurant, if you're a bar that wants to stay open. Apparently, up until November 16th, you can apply to have an all-night permit. And by the way, if we can do all night on New Year's Eve, can we just start that moving forward in 2022? Can we do all nights? Can we have nights like we've had in pre-pandemic times, finally? Because that'd be nice. It'd be nice to walk around the streets of New York and it'd be busy, not desolate, not the bales of, dust rolling along. I forget what they call them, but yeah. I want to see real people out again. I want to see real action. I want to see the nightlife be booming. It's about time we get back to those levels because vaccines are going up. Okay. So why aren't restrictions easing up? Huh? The vaccines are going up. Why aren't restrictions easing up? By the way, there is an NFL game tonight on Veterans Day, and I guess it's worth noting here. The game tonight, and, I didn't get to touch on it on Monday Night Football, but the Justin Fields was complaining that he didn't get the calls Ben Roethlisberger was, and it's a little disturbing. It's a little disturbing that the roughing the passer didn't get called evenly, but they never do. Reffing is always a thing, but the fact that the Bears kept it close, maybe if it weren't for penalties, they would have won, is promising. Is it not? But tonight, it is going to be the Ravens and the Dolphins. Oh my gosh, they're in progress now. It feels like a snoozer, but these games are getting funnier by the day. These games are getting weirder by the day. I thought it'd be hyping up to talk about Cam and Odell, but I just, there's got to be more stories than that hype. And everybody's going to talk about it. Oh my gosh, OBJ going to the Rams. Let's hope his father doesn't make an 11-minute video against Matt Stafford, But they are a threat. They are a threat. And this was basically what it was all day long. The Cam and the OBJ story. That was the storylines of the day. And I got tired of it. I'm like, hey, they've made their moves. Let's move on. Let's talk about other important things that should be dealt with. Right? Right. On my other podcasts, by the way, I do have a conversation about the vaccine mandate. I was hesitant to run that here because this is very sports oriented. It's not about taking on the Biden administration or their vaccine mandate. But if you want to check it out, Alex Garrett Podcasting, it's up on the Keeping It Real page of it. I've got a bunch of different shows on the Alex Garrett Podcasting umbrella. Alex Garrett Nightly one. Alex Garrett Sports Hour, of course, is the other. And we just keep on humming, man. That's what we got to do. We got to keep on humming and maybe strike gold every now and then on these shows. But today, what seems like a newsy day for sports just feels like another day. Because the bigger picture is, who cares? Right now, who cares that OBJ is going to the Rams? Cam's going to the Panthers. That's whatever it is. I want to know why, Brian Williams is getting a big plug for doing 28 years as an NBC News member. Of course, he was the ex-anchor of NBC Nightly News, but I want to know why he's being so honored. That's a problem. When journalism can't call out its own, it is a problem. I want to know why there's being called for bloodshed if Mayor-elect Adams restores policing in New York City. I want to know what's so bad about having police. I know this is sports, and I know it's social justice is alive, but this gets out of hand when you're asking an African American to slow his roll. No. You would think he would know best in the community, would he not? Would he not? I would think, and I would hope so. I want to know why kids are getting public education scholarships if they get the vaccine at, get this, the age of 5. Why are these incentives going on here in New York, especially? Because what happens to those who were the hardworking high schoolers, the hardworking people that have paid their college debt and continue to, by the way? Why are those folks being left out in the cold? I want to know why those people continue to have to pay, but a kid at 5 years old gets already a guaranteed college scholarship. Are we kidding me? Are we kidding ourselves? Are we kidding ourselves? That's the pressing issues I want to know. Is when they talk about fair share here in the city and elsewhere. The fair share should be, and I'm not saying erase all college debt because that can't be, but make it easier for people to pay off their debt. Don't make it easy for parents of a 5-year-old to bank already a college education for a vaccine. That's political. That isn't health. It's become less health related and more political related as the days go on. And the bribery about this is driving me crazy. And I can put on a good face and say, let's talk about sports today, but there's a lot of other stuff that I've been posting about on my Instagram, AlexGNYC1, beyond sports, that is really pushing me. The Kyle Rittenhouse thing, that trial continues. My main question is, why would... I get you are trying to defend yourself, yes. But 2 people are dead. There is some consequence that has to happen here for Kyle Rittenhouse, does there not? That's the theme I want to see, is that not an excuse for the kid, but what consequence? Knowing what we know already. Knowing what consequences will he still face? I think to excuse it entirely is very irresponsible. Okay? You're not Alex, you're not like... I think that's very irresponsible. Especially for a law and order group like conservatives, they should also recognize that, yeah, this kid killed 2 people. And I guess almost a third. In Kenosha. He drove, I believe, beyond state lines to do it too. And I actually believe him recounting it caused him to hyperventilate. I maybe call me naive, but I think he was really hyperventilating. Because it seems like that fear of what was going on that night hit him in that moment. But that doesn't excuse him for what he did. That gives us no excuses for what he did that evening in Kenosha. And yet, that's getting more play than calls for riots if more patrolmen, more police are put on the streets of New York. That's not getting much criticism by the left. Why not? We are talking about New York City. We are talking about a city that last year was riot-filled. Okay? And we can't have that again. We also need a mayor who's going to stick to his guns, if you will, and do what's best for the city. And do what he feels is best for the city. We've had a mayor who was sold out. He's not done what's best for the city. And we're seeing that every damn day. So finally, a guy that wants to do the best for the city, let's get him, let's riot against him. No. Because average New Yorkers want to see the city safe again. Do we not? I think we do. I think we have to see it safe again. Because, again, Madison Square Garden. Want to stick to sports? I'll stick to sports. Madison Square Garden, right now, riddled with homeless all around the area. Riddled with homeless people. But there's got to be initiatives better than Thrive NYC to clear that area, especially as the Knicks and Rangers are back. Same with the Barclays. We've got to have better initiatives in the city. And focusing on giving kids an education at 5 years old, a scholarship for college at 5 years old makes no friggin' sense to me. And if it makes sense to you, God bless you. These kids are 12 years away at 5 and about 7 years away at 11. And they're going to be bestowed. That is going to be the focus. Main focus, and Adams is right about this, is to lift the mask mandate. These kids do not want to wear masks in the classroom. And I don't blame them. That's where the focus should be. Not giving them public college scholarships, full rides at 5 years old to bank on. Are you kidding me? That's what's eating me up tonight. And on Alex Garrett Nightly, I'm not afraid to delve into that. I'm not afraid to say, when I see a headline that riots, and yeah, I'm going to say Black Lives Matter said this. But when they say riots in the streets, if Adams puts more cops, that should chill anybody here in New York. That should not be overlooked. And it's not a fake news thing. Daily News reported it first, actually. And I'm very unnerved, as we all should be. We should be wanting a safe city, not a rioted one, not a city boarded up again. So, Mayor-elect Adams, stick to your guns, man. Double down if you have to. Triple down if you have to keep the city safe. Don't let them be in your ear like these people of all sorts have been in de Blasio's ear because he's afraid of them. He was afraid to put more cops on the streets as the riots were happening. He was afraid to say, no, let's keep things going at certain capacities. He was saying, no, let's close everything down. He was afraid. He was trying to CYA. And it's turned into the city going, see ya. City residents going, see ya. So CYA, Mayor Bill de Blasio, has turned into New York City residents saying, see ya. And we got to get him back. We got to get him back. What was the other thing I heard today, by the way, on Garrett Nightly that was really bizarre and disturbing, to say the least? It was Cranes, New York. Cranes, New York today, saying that I'm going to find it. Bear with me here. That businesses could face fines and city crackdown on bias for AI hiring tools. So they're looking into the businesses and the way they're hiring and finding them. I mean, if we're going to get into hiring practice, who's going to want to be in New York to work here? If we're going to get into hiring practices. And you could say, well, they could be this, that, and the other. But you know, every time you see the words face fines in the city, you know it's a bad thing that they want to try and insert themselves with. You know it's a horrible thing. So, let's not let the city continue to fine us. Let's not let the city continue to push us around. Let's see a Mayor-elect Adams on Garrett Nightly run New York City the best he could. I have a lot of hope for him. I really do. And, by the way, it'd be funny is if immediately, someone wins a championship his first term after the mayor who had a championship drought under him all 8 years leaves. How great would it be if someone won under Eric Adams? Under someone but de Blasio. Please, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see a Knicks championship or a Ranger championship the first few months of Adams' reign here. Would love to see it, New York. Think it'd be great. I think it'd be hilarious, actually. And a slap in the face to de Blasio. You know, the guy thinks he can run for governor. Do you know, on Garrett Nightly, I know this is Can You Dig Sports, but can we talk about the ridiculousness that Mayor de Blasio thinks he can run for governor after what he's done to the city? Come on, man. Get a private sector job or some public office, public works thing. I don't know. But you think if you can, even though you couldn't fill a cafeteria, a restaurant in Iowa when you were trying to be president pre-pandemic, You think now you can be governor? That you're going to get a whole host of people in Buffalo to vote for you or Syracuse? Are you kidding me? Half those people want to secede from the state to begin with. You have no shot. And you're going to make yourself look stupid if you actually pursue a run for governor, especially against Letitia James, the Attorney General, especially against her. Especially against her. So, with all that being said, I mention this because today is the final march for Mayor de Blasio in the Veterans Day Parade. 8 years ago, yours truly saw him walk into Madison Square Park as the mayor-elect. And then in 2016, I got a chance to talk with him after the election. And then, literally, he was on my podcast for a minute on my SoundCloud. And then I talked to him here and there over the years. So that's why he's on my mind today, because yes, the mayor is synonymous with Veterans Day, and this is his last one. And now I think he's going to run for governor. All right. Let's call a lid on that by now, Mayor de Blasio, can you? Thanks. Let someone who can really deal with the state the best they can do the work here in New York. So with all that being said, yeah, Cam's a Panther, Odell's a Ram, but come on. If you're a New Yorker today, or if you're someone who looks at New York with these starry eyes, I know you do. I know wherever you are, you look at New York with these starry eyes. Let me just give you an inside look. We need a lot of help and a lot of fixing up. And that's the damn truth as I walk around New York City. We need help. We need fixing up. We need to be beyond just a New Year's Eve all-night party. We need all-night parties moving forward. You know, they could have this beautiful thing, beautiful tribute to the veterans in Grand Central. They can fill a Broadway theater if you're vaccinated. But somehow you can't let the mom and pop shop do what they have to do without pressuring them to get the vaccine proof. You can't let them just live. I know the vaccine has been like a theme on the show, but it continues to hit home in New York when you see the story after story. And again, if Kyrie Irving, if Mayor-elect Adams reverses the trend, this does affect sports because Kyrie Irving could very well be a net. And we've covered that before on Garrett Nightly, and I'd love to see it. But for now, I want to leave you with the band, the pipes and drum echoing through Veterans Day today at Grand Central Terminal. Here's just a sample of it. I'm Alex Garrett on Garrett Nightly.